Welcome in once again to another edition of Where the 99 Lead. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host. Where the 99 Leads, it's a program brought to you by the University of Pikeville. We talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville and where those historic 99 steps lead, not only to the University of Pikeville campus, but also from campus into the community and into Central Appalachia and into the world. Joined by a special guest today from the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, Dr. William Betts, Senior Associate Dean for Osteopathic Education, Professor and Chair of Family Medicine for Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Betts, welcome in.
Thank you, Andrew. It's good being here.
We've anticipated having you on the program for years. You're a busy guy. Senior Associate Dean of the Osteopathic Education, and then also a Professor and Chair of Family Medicine. So we know you have a lot of roles, and you play a huge role at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. But before we get there and talk about your current roles, let's talk about the past. Let's talk about Dr. William Betts, where you come from, and maybe a little history and how you arrived in Pikeville.
I was born and raised in Kansas City. I went to school in Kansas City at the DO school there, practiced family medicine for about 18 years and really loved it. One of my best friends was a guy by the name of John Stroh-Snyder, who practiced just down the hall from my very first office in Kansas City. So John was the medical director for my postgraduate training, so we became good friends right from the beginning. John was the one that really got me interested in family medicine and being a part of Kansas City itself.
And of course, those familiar with the University of Pikeville and Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, Dr. Stroh-Snyder, beloved in our community and on campus. Instrumental in the origins of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. And Dr. Stroh-Snyder, you leave family medicine to enter the field of educating aspiring physicians.
I jokingly say that I really didn't have a choice. I would tell people that Stroh-Snyder had the pictures and the negatives that brought me to Pikeville. But it really was a unique opportunity. Stroh called me up and he said, "You need to come to Pikeville."
Yes.
And I was a part of a closed panel health maintenance organization in Kansas City, and I really had no intentions of ever coming to what I jokingly call hillbilly heaven.
Right.
But Stroh said, "You need to come and visit." So I came to Pikeville. You have to understand, I was John Stroh-Snyder's family physician, so I took care of John and his family when I was in Kansas City.
Right.
So when I came to Pikeville, he said, "You have to meet the students." Well, that was the problem, because the minute I met the students, then I really had the passion about leaving clinical medicine and coming into academic medicine.
Right. And that was when?
That was in 1998. I remember our first visit here, and as we're driving out, and my wife said, "You're really not planning to come here?" And I said, really the Lord's going to have to make some changes in my life before I come to Pikeville, Kentucky. And I will tell people that was really one of those strange comments, because it wasn't that long after that I started having a change in my passion and wanting to come to Pikeville. So I remember when John asked me formally to come to Pikeville, and I said yes, and you could see the relief on his face of having another familiar face come to Pikeville, Kentucky.
Any regrets from leaving the practice and becoming an educator?
None, absolutely none. Absolutely none.
And it was the students that changed your mind.
They are a unique group of people that make you young, make you current, and it brings a vitality that no other program can ever do. It is fantastic. John brought me in as the chair of the Department of Family Medicine, and I remember my first assignment was teaching students on clinical skills, and it was a unique experience because I was so nervous about speaking in front of a group of kids.
Sure.
But it's a fantastic beginning, and it's a wonderful life here in Pikeville.
And that was 1998.
98.
And the School of Osteopathic Medicine opened when?
We graduated our first class in 2001.
Right.
And that was a great opportunity. I will tell people that it was probably one of the most memorable experiences of watching this group of talented individuals go through that process and eventually get their DO degree and go on into residency programs.
We want to talk about the growth of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Before we do that, let's talk some history, because you've been around from the beginning. What were some of the challenges that were faced in the beginning?
One of the first comments that I got when I came to Pikeville was, "Y'all ain't from around here. Where are y'all from? Because we can't understand why you're coming to Pikeville."
Sure.
And that was kind of unique, because Pikeville is a great place. It's a wonderful place, to a point in which I left in 2006 to be the founding dean of the new DO school in Yakima, Washington.
Right.
Was there for 3 years and then missed my old Kentucky home and came back in 2009.
Right.
So it's a great place. But the historical perspective was that when we got here, people would say, "Well, it's not like UK and U of L." And my comments were always, "That's right, we're not trying to be like UK and U of L.
Right.
Our mission is to train men and women in an osteopathic medical education to serve the Appalachian areas and areas of underserved areas, whether they're here in Appalachia, but also the underserved areas even in inner city populations."
Sure. Since 2001, the first graduating class, through 2013, somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 physicians have graduated from the school. And the class of 2013, the newest physicians to graduate from the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. How many were in that class? And give us a little background on that particular class.
This last graduating class, we had 71 people walk across the stage to get their diplomas. Of that group, about 72% went into primary care residencies, and 28% went into specialty residencies.
And that was the primary goal of the School of Osteopathic Medicine, was family care.
That's true. That was the fun part about it, because when we first started, Pikeville literally relieved the responsibilities of the University of Kentucky in providing primary care physicians to Eastern Kentucky, east of I-75,
Sure.
which is a fantastic opportunity for us, because we took them from the hills, we trained them in the hills, so they're more likely to stay in the hills.
Sure.
to practice medicine.
And that formula certainly has worked. Of the 800 or so, don't want to nail you down to a particular number, of the 800, how many have remained in the Appalachian region?
Probably around 68% have remained in the Appalachian area. Probably about 38% have been in Kentucky itself, and probably about 40% are with a 120-mile radius away from Pikeville.
Certainly has changed healthcare in Eastern Kentucky and in our immediate area.
It's just a start. We have a long ways to go in providing not only primary care, but also bringing in people of specialty areas so that they come in and are part of the programs here.
You're tuned to Where the 99 Lead, talking with Dr. William Betts, Senior Associate Dean for Osteopathic Education, also Professor and Chair of Family Medicine at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Today on Where the 99 Lead, we talk about the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine and the most recently graduated class, 2013. And these graduates, 71,
Yes.
move on into family practice, and then a smaller percentage go into specialties. Where do these graduates go geographically, and how does their education continue from here?
After they walk across that stage and they receive that diploma, they're able to go to any residency program throughout the United States. Many of them still stay within the area, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, throughout the areas. Many of them stay in family medicine, or at least primary care residencies such as family medicine, medicine pediatrics, general internal medicine. So they go all over from University of Kentucky, University of Louisville residency programs, and all the way up to places such as Cleveland Clinic or up at West Virginia and other programs.
Sure. In Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, graduates coming out of this program, how are they received into different residencies? What's the reputation of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine?
I love that question because it's fun to receive phone calls or emails from program directors saying, can you send us one of your graduates? We have seen what you do. We're extremely pleased with your product. We would like to have your graduates participate in our residency programs.
In just a short time.
Very much so. I always love to tell the story about the one graduate out of our second class who was planning to do a residency in Cincinnati or in Charleston. And the dean of the University of Kentucky called John Strohsnyder and said, "You've got to convince this kid to come to UK to do a residency program." Well, that's exactly what ended up. He ended up doing a medicine peds residency program and now has this humongous program or practice and just out of Hazard, or in the Hazard area, and does a fantastic job being a part of representing what we do.
So Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine graduates are highly sought after.
Very much so. Yeah, it's always great to point out that our graduates not only go into residencies in family medicine or internal medicine, but they also go into specialties such as cardiology,
sure.
Residencies in orthopedics, and neurosurgery, neurology, and you name it, and we've probably had one of our graduates go into that type of a residency program.
And the residency programs for those recent graduates, typically how long will those last for those physicians?
Most commonly, the primary care residencies are usually 3 years after they graduate, and then they move on into an active practice, or they may want to go ahead and do some type of fellowship training. Individuals who go into surgery and orthopedics, that's a little bit longer period of time of 5 to 6 years, so that they have a little bit more time to hone their skills to become competent physicians.
Sure. And of course the residency programs, those graduates are placed in various locations. What does Kentucky Com do to provide those opportunities or to assist with those opportunities?
We received inquiries on a daily basis from places throughout the United States. Just today I was told that there is a program, a family medicine residency program up in Anchorage, Alaska,
wow,
that is asking for our graduates to come up there to be a part of their wilderness medicine because they've seen the product that we make, that we turn out, those individuals who are confident physicians who are well trained regardless of what residency they go into.
Sure. With this class, the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine has graduated more than 800. We've talked about that huge number and what a difference it's made to the medical care for those, not just in our region, but throughout the central part of the United States and beyond. You were at the medical school when it was established. What are your thoughts about the success of the school and the impact that these physicians are making as they land in those areas of need?
The school has a fantastic reputation, and the impact is so significant that in such a short period of time, now we've graduated our first class in 2001,
right,
so it's only been 12 years now. And in that 12-year period of time, we have been ranked through U.S. News and World Report number 5 in the country, whether it's a DO program or an MD program. We're ranked number 5 in the country in rural medicine. Now that ranking is selected by medical school deans and chairs of internal medicine throughout the United States. What more of a reputation can you ask than asking those individuals to rank people with regards to expertise?
Absolutely. Rankings from those deans. What impact is it making in the healthcare community as far as filling a need in particular Central Appalachia?
It has a small impact, unfortunately, because we only have graduated 71 this last year. Now, this year, we started taking on 135 students to increase our impact throughout the area. But that still takes a long period of time. We know that in the area, there are physicians that are retiring, moving out of the areas, and we are still having problems with regards to even meeting the needs of health care in the Appalachian area. So we're impacting it, but we have a long ways to go.
Hey, and I think that's a question that a lot of folks might ask is, the school's graduated 800 physicians. That seems like a huge number until you realize you're outside that field and you realize there are doctors retiring. And in Central Appalachia, one of the reasons this school was established, if I'm not mistaken, is to serve rural Kentucky, rural Appalachia, where there was a need for these primary care physicians.
That's true. And one of the most important points to make about this is we can continue to graduate people, but until we finally realize that we must be putting residency programs in rural areas of need, not just family medicine, but rural residency programs in internal medicine, in emergency medicine, in surgery, orthopedics. Residencies don't absolutely have to be done in large metropolitan areas.
Sure.
And one of the things that we need to do is face the reality of putting residencies in areas of need, not only in Appalachia, but throughout the country.
That sounds like a goal of Dr. William Betts.
I have a passion for this. It really is an important part of looking at the future with regards to healthcare, because healthcare is changing tremendously as we speak. Not only in the olden days, a physician took care of the patient. In today's environment, we have an interprofessional capacity where physicians are working with nurses, PAs, and other healthcare providers to provide a broad-based general medical care for these people, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to take care of the population from the Affordable Care Act that's coming down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Change is coming in the world of healthcare. Now, your goal, establishing residency programs in rural Appalachia, in these areas that aren't served by residency programs. What does it take to establish those?
What we need to do is to have people think out of the box more than anything else. That in the past, people have always said, well, it can only be at UK and U of L.
Sure.
And we've proved that to be that specific situation is not the most accurate statement. What we now need to do is to take people and bring them out of the box with regards to postgraduate medical education. That we need to look in places such as this area and provide programs such as in internal medicine, and even then moving into the fellowship, subspecialty fellowships of cardiology and pulmonology and nephrology and neurology, all of those ologies that we need to be training here in Eastern Kentucky. And that's an important part of it. People say, well, do you have the ability? And my comment has always been, we have the scope and the volume. We need the training programs here. And that requires a little bit of money.
Sure.
And a lot of passion with regards to leadership in the area with regards to setting up residencies.
Pikeville Medical Center recently partnered with the Cleveland Clinic, with the Mayo Clinic, as part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. I don't know if there are residency programs through the Mayo Clinic or not. Is this something that might be able to be utilized as residency programs in rural areas in the future?
There's certainly residency programs up in the Mayo Clinic programs itself. And I will say that Pikeville Medical Center has been an excellent partner with regards to moving in the right direction with regards to medical education. Sure. And that's one of those things that we need to look at in hoping that Pikeville Medical Center and Mayo and others are interested in looking at a collaboration in graduate medical education in the area.
Seem to be extremely progressive healthcare in our region, and I think we find ourselves fortunate for the healthcare facilities that we have, and now the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine producing some tremendous physicians to fill a need in our area. residency programs in rural America, I think I found the passion in Dr. William Betts. We need to find the money. And as you said, when the school began in 1998, there was talk that it's not Kentucky, UK, or it's not Louisville. No, it's not. I think the next step, University of Pikeville, why not?
You know, we are really very fortunate to have a leadership at the University of Pikeville. The direction of the Board of Trustees in the wisdom of the Board of Trustees in moving down this direction of health education. And I think that's an important point that everybody needs to know, that without their leadership, the Board of Trustees, and through the leadership with Governor Patton and with Dr. Hurley, that is an important part of the direction of where we're going in the future with regards to healthcare in Central Appalachia and in Kentucky itself.
To Where the 99 Lead, we talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville. Joined today by Dr. William Betts, Senior Associate Dean for Osteopathic Medicine, Professor and Chair of Family Medicine for Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. And Dr. Betts, Kentucky Com, we mentioned, has been ranked nationally. You must be extremely proud of that, ranked nationally in rural medicine and as one of the most affordable private medical schools in the nation. To what do you attribute that success?
Truly the wisdom of the founding dean and the wisdom of the founding individuals who thought that there could be an opportunity of putting a medical school in Pikeville.
There were a lot of naysayers at that time.
As I had always been told, it can't be done. And of course, that's the fun part of hearing that and realizing that under the leadership of John Stroh-Snyder, we were able to start it and get it going. And now through the leadership of Dr. Boyd Boozer, our Vice President Dean of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, we now have opportunities that are beyond what we even thought of back in 1997 when the school actually started.
Sure.
Looking across the street and seeing that we have this 9-story building, this complex, and in that complex we have one floor dedicated to the Clinical Skills Training and Evaluation Center, where we have standardized patient simulations that are so up to date and current that we're very proud to be a part of that educational program here.
How huge has the Cole Building been to the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine?
It was a must to have, and it is a must to use. We are so pleased with the dedication of the administration, because we would not be able to survive, quite frankly, without having the Cole Building as a part of our educational program. Looking at the state-of-the-art capacity of not only doing the lectures in the classroom,
Sure.
but also doing lectures diffusely throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky and external to that area on a real-time basis is an important part of the educational programs that we have at KYCOM.
What are some tools that are available now in the Cole Building that weren't available before its construction?
Right now we have, for example, the patient simulators. We have a SimMan 3G, which is a state-of-the-art simulation robotic, so that we can train our people. Not only do we train our students, but we have the opportunities now to be training even the physicians, the nurses, the paramedics throughout the region with regards to using this program, this model, this robotic, in training and also to test expertise. Not only do we have that, but in this area we also have SimBaby. And I believe the closest SimBaby, the simulation baby, is the closest place is up at the University of Kentucky and up in Morgantown. But this is a fantastic robotic that then trains not only our students, but also the pediatricians, the ICU people. It has the potential of utilizing that training opportunity to raise the skills in what we do in pediatric medicine.
State-of-the-art technology.
It's fantastic. We can't do it without state of the art. You cannot teach via the old methods. You have to be teaching. Anybody that ever says that their program is set and current is only destined to fail, because the longer you stay at the status quo, the quicker you become behind in medical education.
Absolutely. Dr. William Betts, on this edition of Where the 99 Lead, is we talk about the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. And Dr. Betts, the focus of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine on rural medicine. And how do you encourage students, aspiring physicians, to choose to go into rural medicine?
We wear that badge on our shoulders very proudly.
Yes.
In the fact that when people come in, they know that our mission is to train men and women in rural and underserved areas in primary care. Many of them want to have that passion. Some of them just want to tell us that they have that passion.
Sure.
But it's important that we mentor to them, and that is an important part of it. We talk about primary care from the very beginning. We have clinical rotations on the second year that are all dedicated to primary care. And then our third and fourth year clinical rotations also still have rotations in primary care, so that we mentor these people to show them that is, in fact, it's an important aspect of medicine. When I first got into medicine, I was told, "You're too smart to go into family medicine," and I chuckled about it. And I had a student that came to me from the very first class and said, "You know, I had a cardiologist tell me that I was too smart to go into family medicine. You need to go into cardiology." And my comment to him was, "No, you're really too smart not to go into family medicine, because it is a very tough profession to look at that broad base of illnesses throughout the continuum of medicine itself." So we mentor them and make sure they understand that it's important that you can, in fact, have a primary care practice with all of the opportunities of subspecialty support that, for example, we have in Eastern Kentucky.
Sure. We've talked about the history of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. We've talked about the most recent graduating class, 2013. The incoming class, I guess late summer, will be the class of 2017.
Yes.
How many students included in that class?
There will be about 135 students that will be coming on board. We're really excited to have this group. We think that this just adds to the shortages that it will help us relieve some of the shortages that are going on in medicine in the area itself.
135 incoming aspiring physicians. How many applications for those spots?
That's the fun part about it. We have almost 3,000, if not more, 3,000 applications just for those slots.
That is incredible. And we've talked about the Cole building, the impact that it's made, not just on the Pikeville skyline, as Governor Patton declares, not just the student comforts and the meal plans with the cafe, and what a great addition that's been, but also a great impact to the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, allowing future growth and allowing the class to double in size from 71 graduates this year. That's the impact it's had on students with the technology. What impact has it had on faculty and administration?
Faculty, the faculty needs are probably one of the most important parts of a continuum of medical education. One of the things that's really nice about the Cole building is that ninth story, the ninth floor, that has this beautiful floor where Dr. Laura Griffin, who's the chair of the Department of Osteopathic Principles and Practice, teaches the craft and the art of osteopathic manual manipulation. And to teach it up in what I call the penthouse of the institution,
yes,
is really one of the most important parts, because it tells everybody, the students, the faculty, the administration, and the public, that osteopathic medicine is taught here in Pikeville, that we wear it proudly, and then we do a good job of it too.
No doubt about it. Recognized by U.S. News and World Reports in 12 short years of graduating physicians.
one of the things that it's always important to point out also is that we're ranked number 2 in our graduates going into primary care residencies.
Wow, it's incredible what the University of Pikeville, Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine has done in such a short time. Dr. Betts, you've been around since the origins, and of course you were a friend and the family physician of one of our friends, Dr. Stroh-Snyder, who was around from the origins as well. It's been our pleasure to have you on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. Look forward to having you back again. I think we've got another half hour or so in this.
We'd like to do it. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much for the invitation.
Dr. William Betts is Senior Associate Dean for Osteopathic Medicine, Professor and Chair of Family Medicine at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. It's brought to you by the University of Pikeville, the leading university of Central Appalachia.